Good morning, everyone. This is Alex from Computer Headquarters, and this is, I guess, the first vlog that I've done for Computer Headquarters. And it's just me right now, but my team, my Computer Headquarters employees, they're with me here. We're in Oakland, California, and today we are continuing to pick up all of the equipment that was part of the Artesian build bankruptcy auction lot 1. Yesterday was a very busy day. We got a lot done. Not quite as much as I would have liked, but we did get a lot done, and we will continue today. It's about 8:30 in the morning. We're gonna be heading out pretty soon to get over there by 9. And I just figured to make kind of a little vlog video, talk about what happened yesterday and what we're planning to do. So I'll set up over here. That'll probably do some OBS screen capture stuff. Not the best internet here in the hotel. 0.27 megabytes per second download, but then 15 upload. Very strange. I could pay $5 to get better internet. I might do that. But yeah, I'm gonna pick it up on the other side here on the computer itself with OBS.
All right, guys. It is nighttime now. So when you saw me earlier, that was in the morning, and now it is 11 o'clock at night. And a lot of work got done, and I'm really tired and been very sweaty all day. But I've I've been just putting together some notes here to make this video because I can't actually play video games right now at the hotel because the internet is so bad. It's actually, the internet is one of my notes here. So anyway, I've got this list here on the left that we're gonna run through, and I'll do my best to not fall asleep while I'm talking. Just kidding. Anyway, so our flight yesterday came in pretty smooth. That was one of the things that went the best, is that the flight was on time and we got through security and everything on time. We got to the airport early. We were responsible. The next three things are kind of like a team note, or they work together: trucks, pallets, forklifts, slash stacker. So our plan getting in here to this project of collecting all these things out of this warehouse in Oakland was kind of revolving around these three things. We have to have trucks to take the equipment away. We have to have pallets to put the equipment on, and we possibly need a forklift or a stacker to get those pallets into the truck. Now, there's also the idea of a truck having what's called a lift gate on the back, so that you don't need a stacker or a forklift. And there's also the idea of building pallets inside of a truck so that you don't need any of that stuff either. I'm going to make another video about all of this stuff later when I'm done, when I have more time. And I'm probably going to talk about how many things went wrong. I'm not saying these things were someone else's fault other than my own. But yeah, more of like logistics companies kind of not having things going right, basically. In any case, that just wanted to kind of go over the basics of that. And when I have more time, I want to show you like the building and the doors and that kind of thing, because you can see it from Google Street View. Anyway, we'll keep moving here. So we were not missing a bunch of stuff overall. That was something I was really concerned about. I think I mentioned that in another video. Like, what if things were missing? What if previous employees had access to the warehouse? Like, maybe they had keys from when they were working before and the locks weren't changed, and they went in there and grabbed a bunch of video cards or CPUs or something, right? That did not seem to be the case at all, which is great. I was requested not to share video that I filmed there. So I'm not going to go into detail about that because I could probably talk about that for a while. But we had hoped to be able to film video inside the building that we would be able to put on YouTube. And we were told that we were not allowed to do that specifically by the people running the auction and by Noah Katz as well. So we were allowed to film inside the warehouse to make sure that everything was there for personal, internal, private use. But anyway, I don't know the legalities behind all that stuff at this moment. So I have my stuff I filmed, and until someone tells me otherwise, I'm not going to be sharing that footage. I will have plenty of footage of the product in my own warehouse, and I can do whatever I want with that, of course. In-win, this is where things get a little bit more fun. Hopefully this video picks up a little bit for you guys to stay interested. And I'm gonna have some tabs here on my browser that I've set up ahead of time. So we got 2 in-win WinBot cases. That's this case right here that Artesian Builds actually has this video where they talked about the case and they did a build in it. So I'm really, really excited for this case. I'm gonna definitely want to build a system for myself that we'll have at our warehouse as kind of like a display piece. We have quite a few builds like that are special, but we don't have a case that's quite this crazy, and I'm really looking forward to having some fun with it. But these are really, really expensive. I think my understanding is that they go for about $6,000 if you could ever find one. So we'll probably sell one, and we'll probably keep one. Maximus Z690 Glacier. This motherboard is the Maximus Z690 Extreme Glacial. I actually did, I said this wrong over here. I spelled it wrong, pronounced it wrong, all of that. So it's Extreme Glacial, not Glacier. This price here on Newegg is not a joke. That's a real price. It's $2,000 for this motherboard. I didn't make that up. This is real. There were 3 of them. One of them is missing all of the covers, and 2 of them, one of them seemed to be taken apart. I don't know if it even, some of these motherboards, maybe they don't even work, right? But it was out of the box. All the shielding, cover stuff, water block stuff was all off. And then one of them, I think, was in the box and should be fine. But this comes in like a suitcase box. It's interesting. And yeah, really expensive. Now, this is just, this right here is kind of like a little story, mini story here. So when 12900K first was released, I had a buddy that has an inside with Intel, and he was able to get 12900K for me like on launch day or whatever, maybe even early. I can't remember, but thank you if you're watching this video and you know who you are. I'm not gonna say your name because I don't want you to get in trouble. But I'm really good friends with Asus as well. I do a lot of business with them direct, great people, and in fact, I know that one of them used to watch my videos. Even though no one watches my videos, one of them that works at Asus actually did watch my videos at one point. And anyway, I thought that when I got this, I have this motherboard on my personal rig at my house, Z690 Formula, which is $800. I think it used to be $1,300, I want to say. I thought that I was getting this board when I got it, and they gave me like a really nice discount as like a makeup for another problem that had happened in the past. And I didn't realize that they had multiple motherboards over $1,000 back then. They have since dropped the price on the Formula. Next up, I know we have at least one of these Gigabyte Z690 Aorus Extreme Water Force boards, maybe 2. I think it's at least 1. And these are about $2,000 as well. So that's just pretty crazy to me that these motherboards are this expensive and that we even have them in the first place. We've had water force boards before, but they weren't this expensive. Let's see. Next up, there were 4 in-win 925s, and these cases are amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful case. I've actually been hunting for the 928. That's not a note I had on here. I just thought about that, but I'm actively searching for a 928 because I have a specific motherboard that needs a case that big. And actually, the case was designed for the motherboard. It's called the Dominus Extreme. motherboard. It's kind of stupid. It's more of a collector nostalgia thing. Um, anyway, we got 4 of these, and I couldn't find any pricing on the internet about them, but it looks like they were selling for about $500 when they were available. And I checked eBay. There were none available, none sold in the past 30 or 90 days or whatever history they show. So I would expect with how unavailable they are that they would probably sell for more like $1,000 if there was actually one available. Um, okay, notes here. There were literally probably in the ballpark of 1,000 water bottles that are Artesian builds, branded water bottles. So that was kind of nice to have because there's a nice water fountain inside the building, and it was hot and we were really sweaty and physically laboring the last 2 days straight. So it was nice to just be able to fill up some water bottles and not have to just buy cases of plastic water bottles. So that was cool. It was unexpected. And we were able to just give those out to a lot of people too, like all the drivers and truck people that we were working with. We just said, hey, do you want some water? And just go fill up a brand new water bottle and say, hey, you get to keep it. People were pretty excited about that. I don't know if there are actually 1,000 mouse pads. That's just what I wrote down here, approximately 1,000. But they're really, really heavy, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1,000. There are so many mouse pads. They're not all just like Artesian Bills branded. They're Mr. Beast. They're Buddha. They are Thorn. Like so many different streamers or celebrities or whatever that branded their own mouse pads with him, and just so many mouse pads. A lot of them are Artesian builds, of course. Actually, I don't have a note here. There were a lot of screwdrivers as well, like the electric screwdrivers. They're pretty nice. Lots of like branded zip ties and other things too. Um, Approximately 1,000 Mr. Beast candy bars. Yeah, like seriously, it's probably 1,000 individual candy bars. And let me tell you, um, there were multiple times where we hit a wall, like physically just tired and sweaty and stuff, moving all these boxes and packing pallets and stuff, and grabbing a candy bar and some water and taking a 5-minute break can really get you back on your feet, basically, as goofy as that sounds. So that was nice to just have unlimited candy bars. Not that we were like eating tons of candy bars, but I was also giving those away to the drivers and all the people we were working with. So it's like, here's a water bottle and some candy bars. People were pretty happy about that. Many Lian Li 011 dynamic panels. I mentioned that in my Oakland walkthrough that I thought maybe that's what they were. Confirmed. There were a lot of 011 dynamic cases that are missing panels, and there were lots of panels that could make them complete. There were glass side panels, there were top panels, side panels, like every panel you could think of to make complete units if you're missing panels. So that's cool. Not many RMAs. That's something interesting. There were, we have a lot of RMAs at our warehouse, and we go through them all like every day. But we also don't sell all custom builds. We sell a lot of motherboards, and motherboards have a high RMA rate in general because people, on average, not everyone knows how to build a computer from scratch. They watch a video, and they can still make some things not work, or have a hard time making things all work, or they might have bought a different component that they thought was working when it really wasn't. So they'll always blame the motherboard. In any case, there were not a lot. Yeah, there was like a small rack, and it was not a lot of stuff. I mean, it's like a couple of maybe 2 bad sticks of RAM. I think like 2 video cards. I think there were maybe 6 builds that were there. I don't even know if they're builds. They might have just been cases. I think there were quite a few just empty cases that said dented case. So barely anything to speak of, which I thought was interesting because of another bullet point that's on here, which is Gamers Nexus latest video that came out last night, where he said that the RMA rate at the Oakland facility was significantly higher than the East Coast facility. So it's possible they just happen to get a lot of, maybe they get a lot more RMAs there and they just take care of them faster, or fast in general, or maybe it got cleared. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. The Gamers Nexus could have been wrong for all I know. Let's see. Lots of empty retail boxes. Yeah. So most of the retail boxes that I saw in the pictures that were not on a shelf were empty boxes. So that was pretty disappointing. If you see like a video card box on top of like a 011 dynamic box, like sometimes you'll see like these boxes that were stacked up inside of other boxes, those are all empty. I guess Artesian Build's big thing that they like to do is send another box to the customer with all the boxes of all the parts that came with the build. It's not a bad idea. It's not something I'm really interested in doing myself, but that's what they did, and that's why they had so many empty boxes, and we have just hundreds of empty retail boxes. So that's that. There was an SR3 dark motherboard in a picture. It was very easy for me to remember. It was one of the first things I looked for. This room in particular, right here, distro case 350p, what looks like a 3090 FTW3, an SR3 dark, a Z690. It was this guy. Wait, this guy. See that box right there? Z690 Aorus Extreme Water Force, $1,900 motherboard. So that motherboard, this is an $800 very hard to find motherboard. 39. This is thousands right here. Thousands right here. Who knows what else is in the room, right? So this was. I walked into this room. That wasn't this motherboard wasn't here, and this box. Neither of these boxes were there. They could have been empty, right? Now, the person that was helping us at the auction, she said that a couple of these boxes they had moved onto the shelves because they weren't empty, and she thinks that she found this one. I don't know if it was just that this was gone and that they had another one, because that's always possible, but we found a Z690 Aorus Extreme box. This was nowhere to be found. However, we found two smaller black boxes randomly throughout the warehouse that were the box with the IO shield and standoffs and all these other parts that go with that motherboard. Two different boxes. They both have the IO shields in the box. So that means that if there was a motherboard associated with that, it's gone somehow, some way, and it's missing its IO shield. So that was pretty frustrating because I actually really wanted that, and I wanted to have a whole system. I had an idea for a specific system I wanted to build, just as like we call it like our Hall of Fame area or whatever, with like the coolest, rarest parts. All right, I'll stop whining. Moving the laser. Oh God, that was by far the most dangerous part of our day, the most stressful part of our day. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So we, as part of the auction, we of course got this Aeon Mira 9, and it is a really powerful, what do you call it? 3D cutting laser, something like that is what you call it. It's a CO2 glass laser tube cutting laser engraving machine type of thing. They're like $10,000. It's gigantic. It's heavy. When you look at pictures like this, it looks like a little toaster. It's bigger than a pallet. It's 600 pounds. So even with 5 people, it's really, really heavy. And there's no good grips on it. And their version of it did not come with the stand. I think the stand is an extra charge. So that was stressful. It says here that it only weighs 150 kilograms, which is like 300 pounds. I know that's not true. It's 100% not true, because if it weighed 300 pounds, me and one person could pick it up. And with 5 people, it was difficult. 5 grown men. No one got hurt, but it was bad. We had to move it from a room that had a shower with a small doorway, and tilt it sideways to get it through the door, and then through another door. I'm not going to I'll stop talking about it, but it was very dangerous, and I'm really glad that no one got hurt. Chairs. We got quite a few of these Steelcase Gesture office chairs. They're really, really nice. I'm stoked on it. I didn't know very much about it. I probably should have researched them more. They were in pictures. I just didn't. A bunch of my employees are stoked. Some of them are going to be getting bonuses for, helping me, and I'm sure some of them are going to want to buy a chair with their bonus money, or maybe, and I'm going to give them a crazy good deal, maybe like $1, because I think I'm not legally allowed to sell it to them for $0, but basically $0. But they deserve it for all the hard work and all the sweat that they've been putting in, helping me do all this work. So that was fun, though. I think there were like 6 of these, maybe 10. I don't know, somewhere in there. There were a lot of other Steelcase chairs that are a different model. I don't know the other model, but this is the good one. Hotel internet. Here's our internet. It's bad. Um, so when you first log in to the internet, it says, "Do you want the free internet or do you want to pay $5 a night to have the premium internet?" And so I think my reaction was the same as what most people would do. Well, I'm going to click the free one and see how it is, and if it sucks, I'm going to get the $5 internet. It sucks. I called the front desk and they said that you have a one-time shot at getting the better internet. You have to decide immediately then and there. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense. What if people want to see how the free one is first? Oh, sorry. They just said sorry. That's just how it works. Great. I'd be playing video games with all of us, all of my employees, colleagues. We'd all be playing some video games, I think, right now if we could. So that's why I'm filming a video instead. Um, let's see. This is going to take longer than expected. Yeah. This is going to take. We were hoping to be out tomorrow by the end of the day. We had flights and everything, and we just changed the flights to another day later because everything is just taking a little bit longer than we expected, and it's a lot more work than we expected. And it's impossible to know the job until you're there, basically, and you've seen it. So I'm going to have to give away a lot of free furniture. That's for sure. Go on Craigslist probably and just say, come get it. Come get free desks. So hopefully that goes well tomorrow and people take stuff. Um, we got all the most expensive stuff out of the warehouse. Yep, that's for sure. There isn't really anything left in there that's worth too much money. Um, let's see. Sorry, I'm losing track of looking at the list here. Okay. It's not a good location for a warehouse. WH note there is warehouse. So I'm not sure why Artesian Builds thought that warehouse was an ideal setting for them. It makes sense from the point of view that it was inside the building was like kind of like I don't know, the styling of the wood roof and everything was kind of, I'd say it's beautiful. You know, the roof especially in particular when you look up at the roof, really beautiful woodwork. Um, but the location, I'm not. This is just my opinion, but I'm not a fan of the area. There's a lot of people kind of getting up to no good and all over the place, right next to it, um, and it's not safe. I was told by many people not to be there at night. Um, so yeah, that's one reason to say that it's not a good place for a warehouse where you're doing $5,000 computer builds. But the other thing is the building, the accessibility for trucks. It's a city. It's a downtown area. It's not accessible well for big trucks. It's if you're moving a lot of systems, then you got to be shipping things in and out. It's not a good area for shipping stuff, whether that's FedEx trucks, whether that's you know a 53-foot truck. It's just not. It's not ideal for any of that. Um, I know a thing or two about warehouses and logistics from my time owning a company and my time even before that working for other people, and I don't know why anyone would have ever thought that was a good place to be doing something that required product going in and out. It was probably nice to build computers inside of the building. That was its pro to many other cons. And it was probably crazy expensive too. I'd love to. I can probably find out from the landlord how much the rent was. That'll be fun to find out. Okay. Tomorrow, focusing on furniture. Yeah, getting rid of furniture is our big thing for tomorrow. Noah Katz, the ex CEO of Artesian Builds, he was there yesterday and today. Um, yeah. So I'm not going to really say any. The next thing is not interested in Noah opinions. There are a lot of internet opinions about Noah. I'm not saying that I'm for or against him. At the moment, I'm a businessman that has purchased equipment from his previous business that he owned, and I'm just trying to be professional. So um, I'm not interested in giving any opinions. Uh, Gamers Nexus latest video is it's a tough one for Noah. Of course, I'm not saying that it's unfair. I don't really, again, I don't have an opinion. So I just know that I know that he watched it, and I'm sure that was tough for him. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, good. It better have been tough. Or, you probably have a bunch of negative, some people may have negative things to say based on what I've seen from the internet. And all I'm sticking to is that I'm not taking a side on that. But I will take a side on one thing, and that I have heard that there have been some threats that have been toward him. I'm not going to get into details on any of that, but that's not cool. I'm going to take a stance on that specifically. I'm not trying to defend him about or anything if he did something bad. I'm not saying that that's okay, but I'm going to just say that, whatever wrong things that he's been accused of, none of it was violent, and I don't think that it's fair to put someone through that type of stress. I think there's plenty you can say. I think saying things mean about someone is the one thing, but threats are a whole other level of something that I don't approve of. And for me and my employees, it's a little bit stressful because we're aware of those threats and we know we're near him. It means that my employees, I have to alert them, and there's a little bit of extra level of edge to it when you're around someone that has had threats, if that makes sense. So less of a when you're already stressed out moving, think about moving and the stress that you have. Having like one more level that you have to add on top of that is not great. Um, so I hope you guys understand. I'm not trying to side with him specifically. I'm just saying I'm not down for the threats in general. In that type of a situation, especially when there wasn't, again, if it was a non-violent thing, I don't think there should be threats of violent stuff either. I'm probably rambling. I'm really tired, but I'm just trying to make it excuse me. I'm just trying to make it clear. God, I probably sound like I'm crying right now. I'm just losing my voice from talking all day. Sorry, guys. So I hope that was clear. And if you're interested in more opinions about any of that specific stuff, feel free to comment, and there's going to be tons more content. So stay tuned.